Hello again, guys. It's Gregola Productions here, and welcome back to the Ingersoll Midget service here. In the last part, we got the case apart, balance wheel and hairspring is out. Now we've just got our movement, our base movement here. And as you can see, all the all the oil all over it. Okay, so we're not just going to disassemble it with the spring fully wound. We're going to let the spring down. And for that, we need our crown, stem and crown. I need to actually set this up in the movement holder the right way, so it's not flip-flopping all over the place. There we go. And we'll let that spring down. I'll just stick it in. And then just do that. And hold our... Let's see, how can I do this? Okay. I guess I'll just hold it back. Hold it back like that, and then... Oh, I guess that's better. I guess I'll just do it like that. And then we slowly let all the power down and be very careful not to let go of any of this, or else we could possibly damage something. Because, I mean, think about it. I mean, if that's flying down at, if that spring is flying down at whatever RPM, that can't be good for the rest of this train. This was not designed to run at a super fast speed. You know, this was designed for kind of slow letting down. If I feel like I'm going to lose grip, you know what? I'm going to put my gloves on, actually. Speaking of grip, I haven't got latex ones, but I have got work gloves nonetheless. So if we just do this again now, if we just get, there we go. Yeah, this is it's very kind of hard to do it. Oh. You know what? This is gripping. What the heck happened there? I'm not sure what I've just done. You know what? Those gloves are a nightmare to work with this. You almost desperately need finger cots with this stuff. Oh, is this fully down now? It looks like it is. Yeah, it is. Okay. I think we've let all the power down. And then somehow I've gotten this thing to switch gears and engage the setting mechanism. Interesting. Okay. I think that's all good though. Now what we'll do is we'll see just how this movement is together. So we're going to disassemble it like this. So our our back plate is here. There's the front. And I see there's screws on both sides of the pillars. There's screws here. Whoops. There's two screws here. And there's two screws here. You go over there. Yeah, you can disassemble this either way. Okay, that's interesting. I'm going to go the old-fashioned way and go through the back. So, okay, so there's our pallet fork. Zoom in as close as we can there before we lose focus. Pallet fork, escape wheel. There's the first. I don't know which way this goes now. I can't tell if the first wheel is going from the spring to the center wheel this way, or is it going the other way? Look at that streak. I'm putting streaks in the oil. Oh my gosh, what a mess. Okay. Yeah, and also, handy tip. With this, you can see where each gear is. There's our pallet fork. There's our escape wheel. That's the first wheel, second wheel, and then that might be, or maybe it goes this way. I'm not entirely sure, but you can see, like over here, there's nothing here, right? This is where that's where the bushings are. That's where they are. That's where they stick through the plate. So that's great. Those are wheels there. There's a spring barrel. Okay, we're just gonna go in here and do this. I don't think there's anything else we need to take note of. Probably the keyless works be a good idea though. Okay, there's some kind of stuff. Okay, there's that gear up in there. There's a lever here I see. I can't really see a lot of this because it's dark. We're just gonna have to go in and find out, I guess. Okay, let's unscrew this. I'm not sure why they put two different types of screws there. Maybe they let the repairman decide which way he wants to go in. I'm not entirely sure. I may not be a certified watch repairer, but I can do something right, I hope. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. Of course, that's why magnetized screwdrivers are handy, but you don't want... You want to keep it away from that hairspring. There's that. Yep. And just in case there's a short burst of power from that mainspring, because you can let things all the way down and still somehow get like a tiny little burst of power. I'm gonna put my gloves back on. I already feel the plates loosening up. And oh well, okay, never mind. Never mind. I didn't realize we were that close to being undone. Okay, so there's the gear train on the inside. There's our pallet fork and escape wheel. You can see how much oil I dabbed all over this thing. And yeah, this isn't a typical watch where you've got bridges everywhere to undo every single little thing. That's really handy. I don't hate that. Oh my gosh, those two are one big, those two have united. They're one big mass of oil. Let's look at that. Look at that setup there for the escapement. Interesting. It's got like a half moon thing going on there. I'm not sure what that is exactly. Yeah, it's stuck together. That is funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, don't oil your oh yeah, don't oil your stuff like that. There's the plate. There's no other information we need there. I don't believe. There's no pattern on the other side there. So this is just for the service guide to look at. That's neat. That's neat that early dollar watches had that, or at least Ingersoll did. Back to the gear train. There's all this. There's that wheel. I don't know if Ingersoll made clocks or not. I can't say if they did. Oh, and there's our keyless works. Is this riveted on somehow? Oh, there's screws there, so that'll come off that way. And I see there's a screw there to take this click off, or take the spring barrel out. Interesting. We can flip it over and do that, I guess, next. Make this happen in one way or another. There we go. Interesting little movement. I've never worked on something like this before. And of course, we'll just undo this. There we go. Just to be sure. That looks like it's all riveted together, unfortunately. This is not riveted together over here. Oops. There you go. Yeah, the screwdrivers, I think I'm going to upgrade it because these aren't the best. These are okay. These do a lot of good stuff, but these aren't great for working on watches, especially this size. There's that. I don't know if this comes out or not. Oh yeah, it does. Okay. Okay. Let's stick that in the parts cup. There we go. Okay. Now there's our spring barrel. This should just come out. There it is. Oh, that wheel comes off. Good. Goody goody. We're going to reuse the mainspring because it's not broken. Some guys like to replace the mainsprings all the time. At least in wristwatch. At least in the wristwatch world, they do. I can't tell if that's because they're going to be... Oh, yeah, okay, let's not magnetize everything. Not that was magnetized, although this feels like it is a little bit, so we're gonna put this wheel on the demagnetizer. We'll put all this stuff on there, I think. Interesting. Yeah, there's no teeth broken or anything. As far as I can tell. And I think we got everything off. This kind of rim here, this is all permanently on here. That's part of the plate. Yeah. So that is this. I don't have a cannon pinion remover, so I'm going to leave that on. Also, there's the cone bearing. We'll take that off. There we are. And these, interestingly enough, come off. So I guess we'll take those guys off, too. Might as well. Makes things easier to clean, I think, without the pillars on there. I wonder why they decided to do that. Make it all the more serviceable. And I don't think it matters which way this goes on. Looks identical on both sides, so... Yeah, you don't have to worry about anything getting under there. Like, if these were rivets or something, I wouldn't do anything about them. But since there's screws, I feel like I should take these off. Even if I don't necessarily need to. There we go. You know something's been together a while when you unscrew it and it still doesn't want to come apart. Then you hear a pop when you pull it off. Oh, just from the oil getting in there. Okay, so this mechanism here, it looks like it's permanently together. Yep. And this is by itself. I don't have a cannon pin remover, as I said, so we're just going to leave it. Okay. Well, now it's time for further disassembly, so we'll keep going. I'm going to get my spring barrel apart. I'm going to do that. And we're going to see where that takes us. Okay. What is that pattern there? That's interesting. I've never seen that. Let's see, let's pry this cap looking thing off. This almost definitely comes off. That looks like some kind of press-in type thing. I don't know what the deal is with these. There's no weird little rivets or something on here to keep this together somehow. That looks like just a patch of oil on there. Yeah, from what my understanding is, these guys just pry off. I don't want tool marks everywhere, guys. I'll just try and do this with something else. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm breaking my toothpick. Try my oiler. Yeah, these guys just pop out, as far as I know. Man, this is like a wristwatch spring barrel. This is smaller than most pocket watches, this guy. At least as far as I know. How does that cap come off? You do come off, don't you? There it is. Yeah, had to kind of push my screwdriver in further and get that out. But yeah, okay, so that's kind of a thing in the phonograph world too, for those of you who are familiar with that invention. Spring barrels will sometimes have caps on them like that. And I've seen that on wristwatches. I've seen that on phonographs. You know, you get the idea. There's a spring. Ooh, that looks like it's broken. Oh boy. Oh boy, we might be in for a ride here, folks. When you see abrupt ends like that, you're generally not in for a good time. Oh boy, okay, well, we'll see what we'll do here. I'm not sure at the moment. Okay, we're just going to press this out. And you know what? I'm not going to do this barehanded because I don't want to. And we'll just make a mental note of which way, well, we've got it on the video here as well, but we'll make a note of which way this goes in. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. I don't think I'll need goggles for this particular operation. I'm just going to pull it out. Gently, gently, gently. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, I'm not sure. If that spring's broken, again, I'm not sure what I'm going to do exactly. Oh boy. Okay, it doesn't look like it's... What the heck? What in the world is this? Is it broken or is it not broken? This is some kind of special automatic design. Hey, maybe this has an automatic mainspring of some kind. Although that doesn't make any sense because there's a... Okay, yeah, no. The clip there. So they've got this piece of spring steel that's on there, and they've got it... I've never seen that before. That's interesting. Huh. Yeah, they got like a little knot, or no knot, a little notch on here. And, or have they now? Or am I just not seeing things right? Okay, there's the tiniest little notch right there. And I'm thinking this somehow keys up into that. This thing. And this is riveted on, this piece of steel, spring steel. That looks like someone's repaired this at some point, because that looks like a rough edge on there. That doesn't look like it was factory produced. Yeah, so someone's riveted that on, and then I guess this catches that, and that winds this up. I've never seen a repair like that before. That's kind of good to know. Sometimes when you're in a jam and you can't replace a spring, you know, sometimes that's what you got to do. And people say, well, that's not the professional way to do it or whatever. But yeah, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes, you know, you're in situations, and I mean, I'm an amateur by a long shot. There's no way. There's no way. But I mean, you know, it's debatable what advice you should be taking from me necessarily. I only know so much. There's guys who know a heck of a lot more than I do. I don't know. I just think that when you're in a situation, sometimes cutting a hole in a mainspring or doing something in that ballpark isn't the end of the world by a long shot. Just get that out of there. Because why waste a spring you can still use, you know? I mean, you could, I guess it goes to, if you decide to dispose of it properly, it'll be scrapped at a, I mean, these are tiny little pieces of spring steel too, so it's not like it's that big of a deal, but if you do decide to throw it out or keep it around as extra spring steel, if you decide to throw it or recycle it, then I guess it'll be scrapped. Okay. That didn't, yeah. Why waste it? My point is, why waste a spring when you know, when you can still use it? That's the idea. Okay, so this is, okay, I think that's everything almost. The hairspring we're going to take off, the balance. I think we're going to take it off. Pretty sure we are. Okay, so speaking of springs, we're going to take our hairspring off our balance wheel. And, well, before we do that, we want to make sure that we know which way this thing is even on here to begin with. So our roller stuff and the impulse pin is on the other side, and the hairspring is just all on its own side. So if we just straighten this around, whoops, we just straighten that around so we can see the end is over here somewhere. So that's good. And this, how high is this cullet on the staff? Because it's not like you can just press it on there and know exactly where it all fits together. Because you could press this thing on again and it could be too low on the staff. Of course, they're out of focus because why aren't we? Okay, well, you can see roughly where that is on the staff. And we have some clearance room to get in there. So we're going to take our staff, or sorry, our wheel, put it like that. We can see again, that's the orientation of the hairspring. That's the way they have it spun. So chances are that is the original way this was done. And then we'll take our watch case opener and being very, very gentle, just do it with that. I don't think you can bend the wheel. Like I was holding that with my finger. I don't think you're going to bend the wheel if you do that. And there's our hairspring off of there. So that's tiny. We don't want to damage that. And it just went sailing into the parts container. So there's the wheel. And now this is ready for cleaning.